Alrighty, let's see what we got today. Rising Sun and a 5-2 opening, which might be relevant here. Landscape is Sickness, and in this kingdom that will be triggered by a bunch of cards. Tea House, Rustic Village, and River Shrine are all omens. Surely you're playing with one or more of those at some point, which means once. Uh, any combination of these have been played 5 times in total. Sickness becomes active for the rest of the game. Although with Sickness, once the curses run out, you can always choose to gain a curse, and then that effect will fail, and then you can avoid discarding that way. What else is happening? For draw, there's Artist, the second copy or the sixth copy of Aristocrat, and Ninja. Normally, cards that say +1 card aren't actually netting you draw, but with Ninja, it always goes to the bottom of your deck. This is the back of the card. And then you can play it straight from the bottom of your deck. So the +1 card is actually a bona fide +1 card. You're not breaking even because you don't have to draw Ninja first. For villages, Rustic Village, the first and fifth Aristocrat, and I think that's it. For trashing, Tanuki, River Shrine, and plus buy, Rice, and fourth or eighth Aristocrat. How big can the Rice get here? So you get actions and treasures, plenty of omen cards, you get 2 types of shadow cards, and you get attack cards. So it could be worth as much as 5, I believe. That doesn't seem too hard to accomplish either. Be easy to add a ninja, a tea house, or rustic village. Like just a ninja and a rustic village alone. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types right there. So Rice looks like pretty good payload, I would think. Okay. Probably want a diversity of action cards that you can draw with Artist. Artist tends to be pretty strong. There's plenty of cantrips you can stick in the deck that would power up the Artist. How to open. Probably on the 5-2, Tanuki is going to be the best opening. Trash an estate. This works just like Ninja does. Turn the estate into a River Shrine, and then use River Shrine to trash the coppers. On the 4-3, probably just open with River Shrine directly. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Tanuki first. Bot goes to the River Shrine, that makes sense. Go ahead and take the River Shrine now. I'll also hit 4 again next turn. Probably buy an alley, I think. Or, let me think. I have 2 terminals already. I think I could buy an Aristocrat now, and then a Ninja next turn. And then the way Shadows work is that you have a lot more liberty over when you play them. So even if I only have the 1 village in my deck, I can just plan to play the Shadows on the turn that I find the village to make sure I don't end up suffering from terminal collision. Okay, so we got a Ninja and a Tanuki to choose from. I could play the Aristocrat, play the Tanuki, trash a copper, and then play the Sea Witch. But unlike Menagerie, which also cares about having no duplicate cards in your hand, Snake Witch checks after drawing the +1 card. So even if I were to get rid of this 1 copper and have an entirely unique set of cards, in all likelihood this would draw me copper or an estate and it would fail to activate. There's like a 1 in 7 chance I draw my River Shrine and give out a curse. Probably not worth worrying about. Let's go ahead and play the Ninja and the Tanuki. Maybe an alley now. Also a shadow card. We got a lot of shadow cards in this kingdom. What is this? What have I just done? I'm trying to click the God dang it, this button. See the back of alley. Um, this one is just a nice consistency card. Having 1 copy of alley at the least would be good with artists because you can always play alley first on your turn, and that means your artist is drawing it at minimum 2. It also helps you find the artist. Uh, yeah, I think I like alley now. The alternative would be River Shrine or Rustic Village rather. I've already got the Aristocrat, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy Artist now because I plan to play this River Shrine next turn, and then I'll have money left over, and I don't plan on buying anything anyway, because I'm going to get a free card off a River Shrine if I don't buy anything. And so I might as well buy the Artist now and put the money from this turn towards paying off the debt. Would I rather trash 2 coppers here, only pay off 1 debt, but then my Tanuki can trash the estate, or just go ahead and trash copper estate and get 1 more debt paid off, but then my Tanuki's gaining me like another Snake Witch or something rather than another 4-cost card? I think the 4s look better enough that I'd rather do this. Not 100% on that. I'll go ahead and take a Rustic Village now. This is a pretty strong starting hand. Unfortunately, I have to discard the estate, but I might be able to draw back around to it. Okay, this is kind of funny. This Snake Witch is 100% guaranteed to activate if I want it to. I don't think I actually want to give out the curse. I'd rather this stay in place so my artist can draw more cards.
Hmm.
Let's go ahead and play a ninja now. Yeah, this artist is just going to draw me a million. Get a alley into play. I think I'm going to hold off on the Tanuki. Just go ahead and draw everything. Now I'll trash the estate into what? Oh, River Shrine is also going to activate Sickness. There's 1 sun left, which will be spent by the time I play this. So the boss will be going to be the first one to get hit by the Sickness attack. I really don't think the curse hurts that badly, but it does go onto your deck, which is like the worst possible spot for it. Or in your hand already, you could trash it. If it was in your discard, you're not going to see it for a while. Curse going onto your deck is a good way to induce a dud. One can hope. Anyways, what do I want here? Kind of want payload now. I'm about to be super thin, and as demonstrated, my deck has the potential to draw a whole heck of a lot. So this could be gain an aristocrat, gain a second aristocrat off of River Shrine, and then I'm getting the +3 coins out of that. Or I think better probably just 2 silvers. That's 4 money and doesn't cost terminal space. Uh, I'd love to get a rice next turn. Is that at all possible? I think the answer is no. The only 5-cost card in my deck is Tanuki. If I had another 5, I could remodel like say a tea house or something into a rice mid-turn. If I could gain a second Tanuki here, then I could remodel River Shrine into a 5, then the 5 into rice. But I can't afford a Tanuki because I'm in debt. So I think rice is going to have to wait at least 1 more turn. So I think for the time being, just 2 silvers sounds good. And buys. Again, a free silver. Don't love them all being on top. Uh, this turn actually could go pretty poorly. Huh. So I'm gonna have to take a curse on top of my deck. I can play the alley, which will draw the curse, and then I can play the artist, which will draw 2 cards. But then that's basically the end of the turn. Not a whole lot being accomplished. Gain curse. Hopefully the artist draws me something nice. Alright, I can work with that. At least a bit.
Hmm.
Copper into Snake Witch. And buy a tea house. I think a very likely scenario is this tea house just gets turned into rice. But we shall see. I'll gain a curse. Bot, you can have a curse, and then I'll leave. Well, I was gonna say I'll leave this one in play, but it turns out I'm doing that whether I wanted to or not. Uh, just take gonna draw the one other curse in my deck. Um, I'm probably playing this tea house actually. My ideal turn involved Tanuki remodeling tea house into a rice and then drawing back around and playing the rice. But if this artist is just drawing 3 cards here, I'm probably not going to be able to accomplish all that much. I think I'd rather play this first. Now my artist is going to draw plenty of cards.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's just get this junk back out of the deck. And one more artist, I think. Gain a curse.
Hmm.
Can I find an artist? I think I'm okay sending this back. I should have enough to draw either way. Yeah, I'm fine. Right, Tanuki, turn this into a rice. Can I give it a curse? Nope. River Shrine should probably die next. I'm thin enough to not need it all too badly. Um, Second rice and a third artist sounds pretty good to me. I also would not mind adding some redundant copies of these other cantrips. Like all you theoretically need in the deck is one rustic village and one aristocrat and one snake witch and so on to make the artists work. But I find that in practice you probably want two or three of them to guarantee that you found at least one. And then if you find the second one, you can always opt not to play it until after you've played the artists. Any turn where I have an artist in hand, I think is going to be a perfectly fine turn. And I feel pretty ahead here. Alas, that was the final
Hmm.
curse, so I can't give it any curses here. A bunch of cards. Bunch of cards. What do I want this River Shrine to become? I'm thinking a second Tanuki sounds good. Maybe I should have played the Tanuki sooner. I'm gonna do maybe silver into Tanuki and draw it. I know you don't really want to draw your shadow cards because you can play them from the deck, but the Tanuki was unfortunately in the discard, not the deck, so I had to trigger that shuffle anyway if I wanted to play it. This could just become a tea house probably. Okay. Hmm. Just another rice? Does anything else increase my payload by more? Hmm. I think I'm just gonna keep doing this for a bit. Deck does not have a whole lot of cards in it. What's happening over there? Not sure. It's got a silver. Uh, so that's nice. Sickness auto resolved. That's a setting that you always could voluntarily choose to discard cards. I've seen Keenans where you want to discard three, even if you don't have to take the curse otherwise. Like maybe you have trails in your hand, you want to discard them to activate them. Uh, but here, certainly, I'm happy for it to just skip the whole fiasco.
Hmm.
Did I discard? I already trashed my River Shrine, didn't I? Hmm. What else is in my discard? An artist or something? Yeah, there's one more artist down there. Uh, so I think I draw the silver, turn the silver into a 5, draw the 5 cost card, turn that into a rice, and then draw it with the ninja. I could have done it the other way around as well, where I turn the ninja into a 5, then draw it, and then turn it into rice and redraw it. But I think I care more about getting the ninja attack in than I do about having 2 extra money from the silver. Okay. How are we looking on piles? Curses are empty, but the other piles are still, frankly, quite high. So I think it's another one of these. And maybe in the interest of safety, just click a few more of these simpler cards. I could leave both aristocrats in hand, and then get the +3 cards at the cost of they're not buffing the rice at all. Or sorry, the artist. I think I'd rather just play one copy, given how many artists I've got in my deck. Tea House,
Hmm.
Aristocrat, Ninja, Alley, Snake Witch, and now I just draw a million cards. I haven't played a Rustic Village yet, have I? Nope. Okay. Kinda just want more rice. This thing makes so much money. Probably trash that curse at some point, but it's not exactly a priority at the moment. And if I take some provinces here, I'm probably threatening to win next turn. Like, this is 33 money, so if I lower provinces to 6, then I can use 2 Tanukis to turn province into province, and then buy 4 provinces, for example. Even lower as far as 5 and probably be fine. And I'll just click another tea house and another rustic village, and this should be a win next turn. This is not the best starting hand, but it probably should still be fine. One aristocrat means I can also play a ninja, I can also play the alley, and then the first artist is drawing 4 at a minimum, and it's probably kicking me off. Oh, actually, shoot, can I undo in time? I think I might prefer to leave the province in hand, because there might be scenarios where I play the Tanuki first, crash province into province, and then that's one extra card the artist is drawing.
Hmm.
Let's see. Ninja. I could also do rice into province. Yeah, I can definitely afford to do at least one rice into province and still empty 4 provinces. Maybe 2. I'll have to count in a second. Not played Rustic Village yet. Draw a bunch of cards. Draw a bunch of cards. Okay. So these things make 5 each. If I turn 1 rice into a province, I would have 15, or I'd have 20 money. Yeah, I can afford to do this. Obviously, I could just do province and province as needed. This way, leaves me with more points. Okay, yeah. I like the game plan here. Obviously, the 5-2 helped. I think the Tanuki opening is better for sure. Uh, Not that opening with Rivershrine is bad. You're trashing 2 cards instead of 1, but you're not gaining anything. And Tanuki doesn't cost a draw. So for sure, the 5-2 is an advantage. I'm not exactly sure how the bots deck ended up in such shambles. It seems like it never came together at all. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But yeah, for sure, get a combination of all the cantrips and stuff. Put some artists in the deck. Put some rice in the deck. Uh, and then I think you're off to the races. So what exactly happened with the bots' turns? Open River Shrine, Snake Witch. That seems like a perfectly reasonable opening. Snake Witch is a bit of a nothing buy. Uh, but the alternative would be buying a silver. And if you find the silver and the river shrine in opposite hands, that potentially pays off because then you can trash with the river shrine. Silver can get you to 5. There's an upside to that. The downside is silver is, for one, making you approximately twice as likely to bottom deck the river shrine, which would be a total disaster. And if you line it up with the river shrine, it's not doing anything. So I think buying a snake witch that's accomplishing nothing, at least in the short term, but is an innocuous card could make sense. So the opening seems perfectly fine. Takes another snake witch. So this is probably an unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Now I understand why the bot uh, was in such shambles. This turn 3, turn 4 draw for the bot is just absolutely atrocious. You can tell from the fact I played 2 coppers and bought a snake witch here that it had all 3 estates in its turn 3 hand. buying a second Snake Witch, like I said, is just basically a nothing buy. So you'd rather be buying anything else if you could, but you can't afford it. And the River Shrine lined up with all the coppers, so it had to trash two coppers instead of two estates at the start, which is not what you want. Trashing all your coppers first and none of your estates. That's just a recipe for never hitting five. And then by this point in the game, it's getting hit with a ninja attack constantly. And so it was probably struggling to ever get to five, huh? Yeah, when's the first time the bot hits five this game? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Still no? Turn 11? Turn 12, it bought a tea house. There we go. Turn 12, the bot hit five for the first time. Yeah, Ninja is an extremely oppressive card because just the way it works from a very early stage, you can be consistently playing it every turn in a way that is not equally true of Militia or of like five cost militias that take a bit more work to get. For sure, the nastiest of the discard attacks. And then couple that with the fact that sickness triggered early, so the bot was also taking a bunch of curses. And yeah, the bot was just dead in the water. I don't think there was any salvaging that. This poor draws followed by uh, absolute war crimes.